This is Michael with Shape Up Fitness and Wellness Consulting. I focus on helping people recover from injury as well as living a longer, better life. So longevity and injury recovery is my specialty. That's what I'm focusing on. And today we're going to talk about build your endurance for running. But to be quite honest, it's really just build your endurance. Today we're doing it for running. So endurance is built overnight, right? So it's the result of consistency, smart training, and patience. And that's something that we need to be very aware of. So one of the most common mistakes that I see is that people go out too fast, too hard. All right, so let's say you're a college athlete and now you're back here and you're starting to go out and you're like, I'm going to go out and run 1 mile. Then crawl home because you're crawling on your nipples, your hands, everything is tired, you're sore, you can't walk for 3 days or 4 days or 5 days. Now your knee hurts and you're like, I'm never going to do that again. That's not the way to do it. It just isn't. As well as maybe starting slower and then increasing the distance or the speed too quickly. People push too hard when they go out and gradually build. It's okay if it takes a year. It doesn't matter as long as you are making slow and steady progress. There's a general rule going up by 10% per week in volume. Really rough rule. And it doesn't really apply because if you think about athletes who do like high mileage, if they went up by 10%, that would be way too much. They would really burn out and get hurt pretty quickly. So the key thing is go up gradually, listen to your body. If you're, let's say you're running on Monday and you're here out on Wednesday and tweaky and it's not feeling quite good and the legs are kind of sore, go on the elliptical, go to the gym, hop on the bicycle, do that on Friday or the day after and go do your run. You got to be a little bit flexible. And the same as like over a long period of time, you need to have recovery built into your running. So most runners do something like 3 weeks of increasing mileage and 1 week of recovery. 3 weeks of increasing mileage and then 1 deload week in order to manage the fatigue ratio that you're accumulating and also allow your body to get a new stimulus of feeling good and now you're performing better afterwards. So that's the way you want to approach it. So the key thing is building a solid base of slow and steady runs. The slow and steady runs, that's zone 2. So a good example for that would be you are actually able to talk while you're running. It might be a little bit strained, but you're able to have a conversation. I always tell people you should be able to say like an 11-word sentence. It could be 10. You get the drift. It's just a matter of being able to communicate. If you're like, yes, this, you're doing way too much, way too hard for the slow and steady runs. So you really want to slow down and go from there. It doesn't mean that the really hard runs don't have a place in your training. Absolutely do, but I would suggest building a good base up first, working on drills and getting you into the faster runs. Is strength training in endurance important? So if you're running, should you do strength training? There is no doubt anymore at this point. Strength training is a valuable tool in you becoming a better runner, but more importantly, in becoming a better runner by having less off days because you're injured. So how should your strength training look like? Very simple. You should obviously train your leg muscles. We're talking about your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. It's perfectly sufficient for a runner and you will see huge gains and differences in your running performance if you do it the right way. Now, let's just say you have all this set and you have a plan, you have a deload week and you still feel like you're kind of tired, you don't feel like running anymore, you feel like you're burned out. So if you're burned out, we don't want that. So the best thing that you can do right then and there is take 2 days, even take 3 days. And if you still don't feel like you want to do anything, the aches are still there because you hadn't listened to your body, then you might have to take a longer break. Because a true burnout, if somebody gets truly burned out, they usually don't get back to the level that they used to be at beforehand. So it's really worth like listening to your body and say, hey, how am I feeling? Can I do this or should I not? That's not to be mistaken with being lazy. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, like 60% of the time, I don't really feel like working out, maybe even 70. Always remember that you don't get faster while you're training and you get faster in the recovery period leading up to your next run. It's the same for strength. You don't get stronger in your training. Your training is a stimulus to make you stronger in your recovery. So recovery is crucial. So if you want to run further, longer, faster, you gotta be smart. You gotta have a sustainable progress and smart goals. And you gotta start where you are at and not where you want to be, and then slowly build from there. Until next time.